A city is going to be built in Saudi Arabia which looks like a part of a science fiction film. A futuristic city which is designed in a line, a 170 kilometers long line. This line is 500 meters tall, taller than the Eiffel Tower. It is only 200 meters wide, and on both sides of it, there are huge mirror panels on the exterior. According to some estimates, the total cost of making it can reach up to $1 trillion. And Saudi Arabia claims that by 2045, the city can be ready. Is it really possible? What are the benefits and disadvantages of this design? And what impact will such a mega project have on the rest of the world? Let's try to find out in this video. Saudi Arabia's wealth, a double-edged sword. You can understand how much suffering it can be for a rich man to become poor. Saudi Arabia is also facing similar fears. Just look at this meter. This countdown on the World Meter site shows how many barrels of oil, fossil fuels are left in the world. The meter has been counting down since 2016 and shows 1.36 trillion barrels of known oil and gas reserves are left in the world. Saudi Arabia, which produces 16% of the world's oil and has reserves of 266 billion barrels, is facing a stark reality. If these maximum numbers collected in a survey in 2017 are accepted as correct, then Saudi Arabia will run out of oil in the next 30 to 40 years. However, it is likely that even 20 years earlier, Saudi oil will have depleted to such a limit that it will no longer be able to support the Saudi economy. A country with over 40% of its GDP dependent on oil products certainly faces very bad news. To be honest, this 40% is also a jugglery of words in the budget. If crude oil, gas, and taxes from accounts linked to these products are also included, they make for 75% of Saudi Arabia's fiscal revenue. So such heavy reliance on a single non-creative product, oil, is obviously folly. The ruling family of Saudi Arabia, Al Saud, has certainly started to realize this folly, especially when, as per the Paris Agreement of 2015, countries are shifting their industry and vehicles to renewable energy and non-fossil fuels. Vision 2030, an ambitious plan. The countdown is also going on for countries like Saudi Arabia. They will have to completely transform themselves before 2040. In view of this challenge, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, in 2016 had announced Vision 2030. It is a vision of long-term development with a complex roadmap to achieve it. Understanding Vision 2030 and its roadmap needs a long debate, but here are some important points of it. Economic diversification and private sector promotion. In Vision 2030, the 38-year-old Crown Prince wants Saudi Arabia to move from the 19th major world economy to be ranked among the top 10. The roadmap he has designed envisions the promotion of the private sector of the country. That is, instead of government investments in businesses, domestic and foreign entrepreneurs bring ideas and invest in Saudi Arabia. Currently, the private sector in the Saudi economy accounts for 43%, which will be taken up to 65% in Vision 2030. For comparison, the U.S. private sector accounts for 88% of total GDP. To reach this vision, Saudi Arabia knows that the image of the country needs to be changed in the first instance. Internationally, Saudi Arabia at present carries a strict religious nature, unlike its other Arab states, Qatar and the UAE. As such, foreign investment here is difficult to reach. MBS wants to change it into a secular and progressive image. That's why you see MBS creating sports leagues in Saudi Arabia, buying players, opening music shows, and cinemas. Saudi Arabia believes that by promoting its private sector, it will increase its non-oil revenue to 1,000 billion reals, which is currently stalled at 63 billion. Workforce development and gender inclusion. The Vision 2030 roadmap also aims to make Saudi society active and productive and to make the Saudi workforce take part in the government and businesses more than foreigners. At present, approximately 64% of the Saudi workforce is employed in Saudi government jobs. This figure is devastating for any country. Then, this Saudi workforce is also not of international standard. Saudi employees cost the country more than non-Saudi workers because by law, a Saudi national will earn more than a non-Saudi and cannot be fired. Therefore, in Vision 2030, bringing Saudi youth to the level of the international workforce and teaching similar skills is one of the most important targets. It is true that this challenge is difficult in Saudi society, because the Saudi workforce over a long time has become accustomed to serving with little skills for high salaries. Obviously, it is not easy to overcome this relaxation, and even if these people get expertise in their fields, The question is whether they would agree to serve for the same salaries as non-Saudis. International companies are compelled by Saudi law to hire Saudi workforce, but this practice is feasible only in those institutions which are obliged to do business in Saudi Arabia. When Saudi Arabia will need foreign investors to its country by giving attractive offers, they would not be made to follow unjust restrictions like allocating a quota for its citizens for jobs, paying them more than others, and also not firing them. Another issue is related to the Saudi workforce, which is the non-presence of Saudi women in the Saudi economy, because women are rarely sent out for jobs or business in Saudi society. Changing this also forms the main goal of Vision 2030. As per the data of 2022, women constitute 42% of the Saudi population. Around 15 million Saudis are women. This situation is a bit imbalanced, but even then, if 42% of the country's population will not work at all, how will it compete with the world's major economies? Therefore, the roadmap of Vision 2030 is going to change this conservative approach of Saudi society. In the last few years, the Saudi government has not only allowed women to drive, but now women can travel without a mahram, a male guardian such as a brother, husband, or father, under certain conditions. Vision 2030 has set 30% shares for women in the Saudi kingdom workforce. Interestingly, the Saudi authorities have not only achieved this target, but Saudi women have become 36% of the total workforce instead of 30%. To achieve this target, the Saudi authorities took many steps, including allocating 20% of the seats in the Shura councils to women, allowing women the right to cast votes in the municipal corporation election, and also allowing them to contest the election. Millions of jobs were created for women. Online platforms for job search were created for women who wanted to serve. Apart from this, arrangements were also made to impart training to women, and for the transportation of women from the workplace to home. The Wusul app has been developed, which all show the Saudis' commitment to women's jobs. Because of these swift and bold actions, Saudi Arabia has become among the top 10 countries in the World Bank's ranking, where the role of women in the economy is increasing. However, research says the claim of the increased role of Saudi women is cosmetic, as their only purpose is to improve the soft image of Saudi Arabia, while in reality, liberalization of women and their freedom and development into a business environment need a long time. Tourism and cultural shifts. Along with women's role in business and investment, Saudi Arabia has also learned a lot from its neighbors, the UAE and Qatar. In Vision 2030, Saudi Arabia has greatly valued developing tourism attractions in the country. Efforts are underway to get Saudi historical sites registered as World Heritage Sites of UNESCO. Steps are being taken so that Muslims from all over the world come to perform Hajj and Umrah, and foreign tourists would also throng Saudi Arabia. The hotel, entertainment, and transportation industries in Saudi Arabia would equally benefit from it, and the soft image of the country will proportionally improve. Vision 2030 holds tourism attraction as a mega project. The Line and Neom projects. A notable project is a 170 kilometers long and 200-meter wide city, The Line, which is a city in its own style. Human history has not seen such a city before. It will be 200 meters above sea level and will reflect the view on both sides like a mirror. MBS is so ambitious for this project that he had hired the eminent theoretical physicist, Professor Michio Kaku, for its promotion. You know, Professor Michio Kaku has written several books and papers on the future. His 2 books, The Physics of the Future and The Future of Humanity, are world bestsellers. In the promotion videos of the futuristic city Neom and the Line project, Michio Kaku is seen. The futuristic city will run entirely on renewable energy. It will have 0 carbon emissions with all amenities of health, etc. Within 2 to 5 minutes walking distance. It will have the world's fastest transport, flying cars and robots equipped with artificial intelligence providing services. Moreover, all the infrastructure for the development of technology industries will be provided in the city to make it a global hub of international technology companies. On completion, Neom will certainly be the most expensive city, but it will also be the first city in history to be built with all the possible technologies of the future. Neom project is being built in the northwestern area of Saudi Arabia along the Red Sea bank, along the border of Egypt and Jordan. This is the same site where the Battle of Tabuk took place as per Islamic history. Estimated, The construction of this city will cost at least $500 billion. Where will this wealth and money come from? For this, Saudi Arabia has taken several steps, one of which is the establishment of a public investment fund of $2,000 billion. The fund is part of Vision 2030 apart from the Neom project. A public investment fund is a sovereign wealth fund in which governments save money from their budgets and invest. It is not spent like savings, but its investment is continuously rolled over in various profitable projects. Funding and investment challenges. This fund was already established, and Saudi Arabia has decided to take it to $2 trillion under Vision 2030. It has not yet reached $2 trillion, but the amount is certainly over $600 billion, much of which has been spent on the Neom project. At present, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has extended Vision 2030 by another $50 billion in 2023. With the inclusion of this, the construction cost of Neom will reach $550 billion. However, the biggest question is that the project will be completed in 2030. Whether the project is completed in time or not, a big question mark has been placed on it. It will be safe to say that these projects are attracting people to Saudi Arabia for tourism and investment, but the internal situation in Saudi Arabia, the opposition of the clerics, the social and religious situation is completely ignored. The international critics are saying that Vision 2030 is an ambitious project and a utopian dream. Social and religious reforms. Another important aspect of Vision 2030 is its emphasis on social reforms. With Saudi Arabia's image often linked to its conservative and strict religious norms, the plan seeks to create a more open and progressive society. This includes relaxing the grip of religious police, promoting cultural events, and allowing more freedom in social life. Such reforms are crucial for attracting foreign investment and tourism. However, this comes with its challenges, as there is significant resistance from conservative factions within the country. Environmental sustainability. Vision 2030 also aims to address environmental issues by promoting sustainable development. This includes projects like the Green Saudi and Green Middle East initiatives, which aim to plant billions of trees and reduce carbon emissions. The emphasis on renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind, is also a significant part of the plan. This is particularly important for a country that has historically relied heavily on oil production. Educational reforms. Education is another critical area under Vision 2030. The plan aims to overhaul the education system to meet the needs of the labor market and to equip young Saudis with the skills required for the future. This includes a focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, education, vocational training, and partnerships with international educational institutions. The goal is to create a generation that can drive the country's economic transformation and innovation. Healthcare improvements. Improving the healthcare system is also a priority. Vision 2030 aims to increase the efficiency and quality of healthcare services. This includes expanding medical facilities, promoting digital health, and encouraging private sector participation in the healthcare industry. Ensuring access to high-quality healthcare is essential for the well-being of the population and for attracting foreign talent and investment. Infrastructure development. Infrastructure development is a cornerstone of Vision 2030. Beyond Neom and the line, the plan includes numerous infrastructure projects, such as expanding airports, ports, and transportation networks. These projects are designed to facilitate trade, tourism, and business activities. The development of smart cities and the adoption of advanced technologies are also integral to these infrastructure plans. Regional and international cooperation. Saudi Arabia aims to strengthen its regional and international cooperation through Vision 2030. This includes enhancing ties with neighboring countries, participating in global economic forums, and playing a more active role in international organizations. Such cooperation is crucial for economic growth, security, and addressing global challenges like climate change. Conclusion: Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 is undoubtedly ambitious and comprehensive, targeting various aspects of the economy, society, and environment. While the plan has the potential to transform the country and reduce its dependency on oil, it faces significant challenges. These include internal resistance to social reforms, the need for substantial investment, and the execution of complex megaprojects. The success of Vision 2030 will depend on the Saudi government's ability to navigate these challenges and effectively implement the proposed changes.